All right, I appreciate everyone's patience tonight. We had a closed session that went a little longer than expected, but I am going to call to order the Monday, June 24th, Royal Oak City Commission meeting to order. We're going to begin with an invocation given by Commissioner Macy, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. I ask that you stand if you can, please.
This last Wednesday, we had our annual Juneteenth celebration here in Royal Oak. And despite oppressive heat moving much of the event into the farmers market, it was a wonderful community event that brought joy and fun, while at the same time helping us to learn about and from our past. Thank you so much to the amazing team of volunteer coordinators, including Commissioner Hunt, who helped make this day happen, and to everyone who came, marched 1,865 steps with us, rode horses, climbed walls, played games, sang, shopped, and danced. And for those who could not be there, here's a little taste of the learning that took place. Juneteenth celebrates the day in 1865 when Union soldiers brought news of the Emancipation Proclamation to thousands of still enslaved people in Galveston, Texas. This was more than 2 years after President Lincoln's Emancipation Proclamation had officially outlawed slavery in the Confederate States. As our Juneteenth speaker last week revealed in his highlighting of key moments in history leading to this point, the sudden adoption of Juneteenth as a holiday in 2021 was a little bit surprising. In the summer of 2020, as you may remember, Americans across the nation were outraged at the murder of George Floyd. At that time, the most recent story of a Black American dying needlessly at the hands of police. Thousands of Royal Oakers took to the streets on a hot summer day, masked, to march for justice and response, in collaboration with our own Royal Oak Police Force. The George Floyd summer of protest brought to light that we cannot be complacent. The reckoning for our troubled and stormy past is still ongoing. So the next year, Juneteenth was declared a federal holiday. Like our Juneteenth speaker, I'm not convinced that this is the change the summer of protest was driving for. But that doesn't mean Juneteenth should not be fully recognized and celebrated for what it means to our history. And by celebrating it, we can seek to continue to address challenges that confront our neighbors of color. The road to justice is a long one, and the warriors for justice are still on the move. It's no surprise that the key organizer of the 2020 marches, Lakeisha Morrison, is also a key organizer for our Juneteenth celebration, and is descended from two freedom seekers who founded one of the first Black families to call Royal Oak home. Her family has kept up the steady beat towards justice for over 100 years in Royal Oak. Juneteenth can be more than a celebration of freedom. It can be a call to action that encourages us to remember the past while actively working towards a future that embodies the ideals of liberty, equality, and justice. It's a time for us to acknowledge the systemic inequalities that persist and to reaffirm our commitment to creating a community where everyone is treated with dignity and respect. And there is an opportunity for us as elected officials and residents alike to draw inspiration from the spirit of Juneteenth. May we approach our duties with a renewed sense of purpose and a commitment to serving all members of our community with fairness and compassion. Let us embrace the diversity that enriches our city and strive to ensure that our decisions reflect a deep commitment to equity and inclusion. Amen. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. That brings us to item number 4 tonight, which is the introduction of new staff members.
Well, I'm wondering if we're missing our deputy assistant fire chief, because I don't see him.
I don't see him either.
So I wonder, he might still be on shift tonight, because I know they were short on that, but we'll bring him next time. But I want to introduce Christopher Gomez, who came to us from the University of Miami in Coral Gables. And he understands Michigan winters, is what he told me. Because I asked him, what are you, nuts? Michigan in the winter or what? And no, he's already been very helpful and helping Carol and I try to coordinate calendars better and stuff like that. But Chris, why don't you say hello and say a few words if you'd like.
Sure. Hi everyone, my name is Christopher Gomez. I'm the new IT manager for the city of Royal Oak. It'll be my second week that I've been here. I've been given the grand tour of the entire city, basically. One of my colleagues, Craig. He has been a great tour guide. He's introduced me to a lot of really cool people. It's been a great week so far. I'm really excited to be here with everyone. I came all the way from the southern tip of Florida, as Mark mentioned, and came to be here and work for the city. And I have extended family and friends that moved up here, and for the past few years they've been asking me when I was making my move, and I finally decided to take the leap this year and join the city of Royal Oak, and I'm truly feel blessed with the opportunity, and I'm really happy to work with everybody and looking forward to many more years of getting to know a lot of people in the city and serving all of you. Thank you.
Well, welcome aboard, Chris. We're glad to have you. Your job and role is critical, especially in today's crazy times, and we look forward to all the advice and work you're going to do. And thanks for making the trip all the way up here. Although I will say, I had a good friend that I met in school that was from Florida. And I said, look, I can't wear an air-conditioned suit down in Florida, but you can always wear a nice warm coat here in Michigan. So, you know.
Exactly what I said. You can always escape the cold. You can't escape the heat.
That's right. That's right.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. All right, that brings us to item 5, the approval of the agenda. Just a quick reminder, I'll go to Commissioner Macy. She understands the assignment.
Motion to approve the agenda with the addition of an item, recommendation to settle claim number 2401723.
Okay, that'll be item 8.5. Okay. Commissioner Douglas?
Second.
Okay, we have a second by Commissioner Douglas. Is there discussion? All right, with none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Motion passes. We've established an agenda. All right, now's the time for public comment. The City Commission values and relies on the input of our fellow citizens to help make decisions. Now's the time set aside for the public to address the City Commission on any city-related issue, whether or not it's on the agenda or not. I ask that comments be directed to the City Commission as a whole and not to individual commissioners. If you wish to speak tonight at public comment, please wait until recognized by me, the mayor, then come up to the podium. For the record, we ask that you state your name and address. Please be mindful that the City Commission wishes to hear from anyone who wants to speak tonight, so comments are limited to 3 minutes per speaker, not per topic. And there's a timer at the podium to help you keep track of your time. If you don't wish to speak tonight, no problem. You can always email us, talk to us at the grocery store, whatever fits your preference. Please note we typically don't respond directly to public comment. However, we are taking notes, and when your questions are related to a topic that we're going to be discussing tonight, we will ask those questions. If, however, your questions or your comments are unrelated to anything on the agenda tonight, we kindly ask that you leave your contact information with Ms. Schwanger, who is the A-star, all-lister, but also a substitute tonight for Ms. Judy Davids. And so she's very, very helpful in so many regards. So if you can leave your contact information with her, we'll know how to get back and respond. And staff's also taking notes, and they do look into matters as needed. And so with that, who's first tonight? Yes, sir? Mr. Asher?
Mr. Mayor and members of the City Commission, my name is William Asher. I live at 1003 Irving Avenue in Royal Oak. I want to take this opportunity to congratulate you on your bold decision to approve the construction of multi-unit dwellings on Rochester Road near 14 Mile. Our country is facing a homelessness crisis. It's not as prevalent here in Michigan or as visible in places like California as it is in places like California or Oregon. But it is present, and it will get worse if local municipalities refuse to provide solutions. According to the Department of Housing and Urban Development, insufficient income and affordable housing are the leading causes of homelessness. Providing affordable housing to qualified occupants immediately eases the problem. Lower income people will be able to afford housing and are less likely to become homeless. The site in question is on a busy street, so it's a perfect location for multi-unit dwellings. The residents nearby should be proud of their city for taking a stand on this national issue. It stands to reason that lower-income residents might not have access to personal vehicles. That location has a new bus route that goes all the way north to the city of Rochester and to Oakland University, and all the way south to the new Detroit Transit Center at 8 Mile Road. There's easy access to cross-town buses on 14 Mile as well. These routes are conduits for employment and education that can provide opportunities for the residents. Another advantage of that site is that it's not downtown. This is an opportunity to provide affordable housing in the first locations in Royal Oak and should be embraced. Some people give lip service to solving pressing issues like homelessness, but want the solution to be in somebody else's backyard. We are contributing to the solution in our own collective backyard, and I'm proud of us for doing so.
Thank you, Mr. Asher. Yes, sir.
Good evening. My name is Thomas Horman. I live at 914 Genesee. I've been a Royal Oak resident since 1978. I'm also going to talk about 4704 Rochester Road. It's been an educational experience for me, and not always positive. As with many issues nowadays, it seems like discourse and discussion have devolved into divisive rhetoric and sometimes name-calling. Unfortunately, 4704 Rochester has provided numerous examples of this, and but the one that I need to address in particular is characterizing our neighborhood as, our neighborhood has been mischaracterized by some of our elected and appointed officials and by some in the media as being anti-progress, anti-affordable or anti-attainable housing, or anti-rental. This is not true. We have always been willing to have development on that corner that is appropriate in scale, whether it's rentals, commercial, or homes for sale. I'll submit that our neighborhood is a good example of how Royal Oak is a welcoming and diverse community. The southeast corner of Rochester and Genesee has had a development of 8 one-bedroom apartments since 1968. Those are our neighbors. Those are my neighbors. Amber Grove Apartments, just down the street, 4520 and 4528, also above the time frame. 18 two-bedroom apartments. We have duplexes along Rochester Road. We have houses being rented throughout our neighborhood. We have at least one Airbnb. And, oh yes, most recently, I should also comment about our neighbors on Midtown Point, on the site of the former Mark Twain Elementary School. 186 1, 2, and 3 bedroom townhomes. Now, part of the problem that we're having with the PUD process and cut-through traffic is attributable to that development. I hope that in the future we can all be a little bit more willing to listen to each other, acknowledge each other's concerns, and compromise for mutual benefit. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Harmon. Oh. We're just going to take a quick pause in public comment for a second.
The audio is fine in the room. The audio from the wireless microphones is not going out.
Okay.
So, don't know what we can do about it.
Is it working now? Is this a good bridge?
I hope so.
Okay.
That works.
Okay.
Is this your last meeting? Is this a special for your last night?
Very special.
There you go.
All right. Anyone wish to speak tonight? Mr. Shuglin.
Frank Stuglin, 1011 East Windermere. I am very upset about the comments that were made about the Genesee neighborhood. the dog whistles that you made. Very upsetting. Nobody was against putting apartments there. It was the size of them. Now, if people on this commission are gonna talk to the press, let's talk to them right. This thing was too big. If you want low-income housing, let's put low-income housing in there. There's only gonna be 3 low-income housings in that apartment building, out of 42. Let's have rent control, so people ain't being displaced by these owners that are kicking people out and raising their rents. Let's talk about some serious issues instead of developers coming in here and destroying the neighborhoods. Let's talk about rent control. That's all I got to say on this issue.
Thank you. All right, anybody else? Going once, going twice. All right, we're going to close public comment and bring the meeting back to the side of the table. All right. That brings us to the consent agenda. Does anyone wish to pull anything off the consent agenda tonight? Does anyone wish to make a motion on the consent agenda tonight? Commissioner Colo.
Move approval.
We have a motion by Commissioner Colo. Is there a second? Second by Commissioner Herzog. Discussion on the consent agenda. Okay, with none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Motion passes. All right. That will bring us down to item number 8, which is a resolution of authorization, Oakland County, Oakland Livingston Humane Service Agency, ARPA Senior Chore Program Grant Program. I see Ms. Martin is here. Will you be kicking us off?
Yes.
All right, perfect.
You can come on. Is this working? Hello, Mayor and council members. Jill Martin, your grant writer. I am here today to answer any questions you may have regarding the resolution we've requested for approval of the Oakland County ARPA Senior Chores Program Grant. The grant will be administered through Oakland Livingston Humane Service Agency, and it is a $100,000 grant with no match required. It is reimbursable, with the end of the period of performance being July 2026. Michigan has one of the top 15 oldest populations in the United States, and Michiganders 85 and older are the fastest growing group. Royal Oak's number of households with seniors 65 and older grew almost 12% between 2010 and 2020. This tells us that the needs of our community are continuing to change. This grant will allow the city to increase its capacity of the Roses program and to allow the city to pay contractors a competitive wage, enabling the city to sustain qualified vendors. Eligibility will be low-income chore program for older adults and those with qualified prioritized disability, which the chore program was the #1 requested service from residents, including lawn care and snow removal. The funds that we requested included costs for yard service, marketing and application costs, as well as some funding to supplement the administrative costs of running the program. Currently, there is a waiting list for the chore services due to a limited budget for existing program. Our goal is to conduct outreach for a more inclusive program, as it is reported that 1/3 of seniors are digitally illiterate, and we are studying ways to reach the greater audience. We have 58,000 residents in the city of Royal Oak, and almost 16,000, or 25% of them, are over the age of 55. While this is a pilot program, the Oakland Livingston Humane Services Agency offers a toolkit, and we will be working with them to explore the ability to sustain the program after the pilot. One of the ways that we are looking to grow the program and reach more of the community include working with Habitat for Humanity for a Rock the Block program in 2025, which includes 2 separate 2-day events. We are just in the early discussions, but that is one opportunity that we're looking at to partner with making this a successful growing program.
Any questions? Commissioner Macy.
This is great, very exciting, thank you so much. I don't know if this is a question for you or for Yolanda about the, my understanding is in the past we've had trouble getting people to do the work. Like we've had trouble hiring enough people to meet, yes, the contractors. So I'm wondering, are we going to be able to like increase the amount that we're paying them, or?
So we did write an increase in this grant, and we are also going to look at lawn care companies so that they can take care of more households.
Okay. And I just wonder, so we were talking about the long-term sustainability of this program after we get through this money, which I'm sure we'll be able to spend it if we have contractors who are able to do the work. Certainly the need is there. But my understanding is that we could put more CDBG money towards this program, and part of the reason that we haven't is because we haven't thought that we'd be able to have people to do the work and it would just be sitting there.
Yeah, and the income guidelines are higher on this funding as well, so we'll be able to help more residents, people that were denied previously through the Roses program.
Okay, that's great. And I heard you say that you're looking for ways to reach out that are not totally based on social media and digital literacy. Can you talk a little bit about what your thoughts are, or is it still in planning?
One of the ways is by utilizing the Rock the Block campaigns, because that's a very visual campaign, and they're used to doing the outreach, and we're hoping that when something that visual comes along, and doing one in the springtime and doing the promotions for it after the fact for the fall, that we think we'll be able to bring more families or bring more residents into the program.
That program can normally come in and do like 50 households in one day, and they're going to do 2 days each season.
Okay, that sounds amazing. Thank you so much,
You're
both of you, for this. It's amazing.
No, I think that's great. And just maybe one brainstorm idea, which I always want to refrain from doing up here, but if you work with code enforcement too, there might be folks that have received tickets in the past that are struggling to keep up, and that we can find a way to direct mail them, to see if they qualify for the program as well. I mean, we don't have to triangulate too much, It could be just somebody that is just not doing what they're supposed to be doing, has the means to do it, but, might be a way to also find some contacts as well.
That's a great idea.
Commissioner Colo?
Yeah, just to touch on it too, like I know, so we allocate about $35,000 a year to the Roses program out of CBDG. I know that we've had that money actually returned in the years past because we've not been able to utilize it all. So it's not for lack of trying on the city's part. So I'm excited. This is much like when ARPA came down, it's been a great benefit to the entire nation, but Royal Oak has been incredibly lucky with how we've used and utilized ARPA funds. This is a great grant from the county to really put, a boost into these programs that we have like you could never before. So this is a tremendous opportunity. Thank you, Ms. Barron. Thank you all for coming up with this. I know we emailed a little bit back and forth about this because I saw this come across, this was an e-blast from Oakland County, and I think everyone just got excited, right? Because this is exactly what we're doing already to a higher extent. So this is a really good opportunity to really increase and continue to expand our services.
Anybody else? Any motions? Mr. Colo?
To help the great people of Royal Oak and move approval of this program.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Colo. We have a second by Commissioner Hunt. Discussion. I would say good work. I mean, these are the wins we got to get, and we can't help the whole world at once, but we can certainly help every opportunity that we have. And so this is a great example of I'll say more than chipping away at it, but, I think this will really prove that, we have the capabilities to help more people and learn from it. And then, like Commissioner Macy said, maybe there's a investment down the road after this period to say, okay, well, now we've cracked the nut how to reach more people. And this will be 2 wins, helping people, but also maybe figuring out how to help people more.
And for me, a great opportunity to work with 2 other agencies.
Yeah.
So for future opportunities.
Great point. Great point. I think this might be one of the first times I've seen a contract. I've been up here a while with Oakland Livingston Humane Service, so can't say that for sure, but I'm almost certain. So nice work.
And that's their example of partnering with them. So, yeah.
Great. All right, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well done.
Commissioner Macy,
Yes, moving on to the next agenda. item.
8.5.
Okay, yes. I'd like to make a motion to approve the recommendation of the attorney as discussed in closed session to settle claim number 2401723.
A motion by Commissioner Macy, second by Commissioner Herzog. Discussion on this motion. All right, with none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Motion passes. All right, our last item on the agenda, notwithstanding anything for the betterment of our community, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
A motion by Commissioner Douglas. Is there a second? Second by Commissioner Macy. Lots of enthusiasm here. Any discussion? All right, with none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Motion passes. Adjourned.